Welcome back, everyone. It's Stray Faye here with another episode of Cupid Parasite. In the last episode, we just started Shelby's route, where he confided in Lynette that he is actually Monsieur Essay and he's lying, that he actually has a wife. And he toyed with the idea of just coming clean to everyone. But then Lynette's like, no. And decided to lean hard, so hard into the lie, and she's just like, I'll be your pretend wife. And yeah, now Lynette's going to, I guess she's just gonna go to all these like company dinners and wine and dine with people, acting as the president's wife. Who knows how long the lie is gonna last, or if it's just gonna become real. Alright, we are starting the next chapter, Work Before Love, with Shelby Snail's perspective, I think. Oh no. I looked at the emails I'd received and just sighed. Even more clients were saying how much they wanted to meet my wife. Some of them had even sent multiple messages. Apparently the couple from the other night had gushed about her to yet another client. Oh no. That was the opposite effect. They like tried to make her seem all sickly so like people would stop like asking to meet. But yeah, now that they know she exists, like everyone wants to meet her regardless. Part of me had expected something like this to happen, but actually seeing the messages left me feeling deflated. I guess it's good that they think my wife is actually real now, but since so many people had doubted her existence before, our plan had obviously been a success. But when I started thinking about having to go through all of that again, I started getting depressed. I should probably actually get married before things reach a point of no return. I know, like, if you meet with, like, so many people, like, hey, this is my wife, Lynette, and then, like, what happens if you just, like, pop up later, it's like, hey, this is my wife, so-and-so. I was like, wait, that's not the girl we met before. It's really confusing. If more people start thinking she's my wife, we won't be able to walk back a lie like that, and it'll cause her trouble. Sadly, all the matchmaking tasks I gave to Owen have resulted in nothing but disaster. Rejection. 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 I'd taken her advice and added my income and assets to my profile sheet, and I wasn't surprised to see it had led to more matches. But in every case, they got in touch, I sent Owen out on a date with them, and then they inevitably got a rejection notice. Well, yeah! They're like, not even like meeting in person. They have like no idea who they're getting involved with, other than he's rich. Owen's reports always mentioned how much of a problem it was for them that I couldn't reveal my identity. This profile is just too suspicious. It's impossible to find a good match this way. And all their calls and messages go through Owen, so they can't even communicate with him directly. He even sends a stand-in to our member parties, so even the potential for a date is impossible. I guess using a representative for matchmaking was always doomed to end in failure. But unless I felt like I could trust them completely, I couldn't tell anyone that I, of all people, was looking for a wife. Of course, anyone I felt could actually keep such a secret would certainly be worthy of being my wife. Using a representative means I can't make progress, but if I could date without one, I wouldn't need the service. I'm stuck. He even mentioned before how it seemed like I treated marriage as if I were applying for a license. And she certainly wasn't wrong about that. I just wanted to get married because it was convenient and it would make my lie a reality. But what else am I supposed to think? Love is just an obstacle getting in the way of my work. My company is far and away my top priority. All I want from a wife is someone who can help build smooth client relationships. In other words, to benefit my company. So this is the best method for now, but it still makes me feel uneasy. I feel like I'm abusing my position as her boss. Yeah, it does feel like she's your employee and not you're like dating her or at least like pretending to be married to her. But she seems totally willing to cooperate with me on this. Well, I guess it should be fine. But I was suddenly reminded of that day she came in for the final interview. No, this is like past Lynette. To me, marriage isn't the ultimate goal. I want people to meet and fall in love, and find happiness in marriage. I wanted to be an individual Cupid, connecting people and bringing them together. She was totally different from any of the other applicants. Being a president means dealing with lies and half-truths. I was so used to that. Her utter sincerity truly moved me. Her eyes told me that she had an earnest desire to bring people together. Other applicants seemed to only want a nice, cushy job at a big established company. She was so pure in comparison. I mean, people gotta eat, people gotta work, people gotta eat. Maybe that's why even after we hired her, I would still worry about her when I saw her around the office. She was so passionate about the job, and that passion only seemed to grow out day after day. Not only that, but she got results. I was surprised to find out she'd become our top bridal advisor after just a year. As the company's founder, of course, I was happy to have such a passionate employee. I think that's why I trusted her, because I knew her desire was genuine. I thought she would never betray the company. Her work speaks for itself. As someone who lives for his job, that was my highest standard of judgment. I'm so sleepy. Lynette. Oh yeah, is she like working overtime or? As I headed to work, I had to suppress a yawn. Now that I was living on First Avenue, I had to leave even earlier when I was at my Second Avenue apartment. I have like no idea like what the distances are. I mean, it feels like it's just a street apart, but and I don't even get to see the president at all. I know it's like a dead marriage. Don't even see each other, even if it's pretend. He still wakes up before me and heads to the office first, despite going to sleep after me. Yeah, so I'm like surprised he hasn't like broken down yet. Like 32. I guess he's still young, but still. His dedication to work was strong as ever. I should really try and help with his matchmaking as much as I can. Sometimes I'd catch Mr. Stale with a panicked look on his face. Seems like he's pushing really hard to get married for real. Is he like panicking because of that or panicking because of you? As his advisor, the best thing I could do for him is help him find a proper match. But we really should do something about his strategy of using Owen as his representative. It was almost impressive how bad Owen was at this whole thing. Oh, yeah, that date with Shelby it was really weird. He's like trying to emulate Shelby and just like failing to do so. I mean, he did go on a date with Melanie, but that was like a different route, and even then he was like kind of awkward. But like both of them had awkward energy. They were just made for each other. He just repeated Mr. Snail's words verbatim and glossed over crucial details. I sometimes wondered if he was trying to help at all. But we've had more applicants lately, so at least we've been making progress in that regard. I've been reviewing his account since then. President Shelby, aka Monsieur S.A., registered with us quite a while ago. But he didn't go on dates or show up for meetings. He'd write terse emails with absurd demands. He was like an evil spirit. One thing led to another, and eventually he landed himself in the Parasite 5. I'm still so embarrassed that I wasn't able to find a wife for a single member of the Parasite 5. It was a real stain on my reputation as Cupid. No matter how many others I help, I hate that there are some I failed with. Gil, Ryuki, and Alan. Wonder how they're all doing. Rule said he'd finish his research, so I don't have to worry about him. But the same doesn't go for those other three. Still, they're not members anymore, so there really isn't anything I can do for them. My job is to help guide our current members into marriage. That has to be my top priority. Can't help those who don't want to be helped. When I arrived at the office, I noticed a crowd gathered around. Good morning, everyone! What's going on? Why is everyone gathered up like this? Bridal advisor, right? Oh, good morning! Take a look! What is it? I made my way to the center of the crowd and saw a poster that said Cupid Corp 15th Anniversary Internal Competition. 15th Anniversary? Wait, it's been around that long? Wait, was he like 17 when he made the company? That reminded me when I first learned about Cupid Corp thanks to the hashtag Cupid Happenstance. It was their 8th anniversary. If you turned the number 8 on its side, it looked like the infinity symbol. Aunt Minerva said that was the campaign's inspiration. So it's been 15 years since the president founded the company. That's pretty amazing. I didn't think much of it back in Celestia, but 15 years is actually a pretty long time in human terms. He's been working and making progress by protecting and expanding the company. It's really impressive. The president is amazing. I need to do even better to help him. That was true both as a normal employee and as his wife by proxy. Inwardly, I started psyching myself up. Next to me, I heard an irritated sigh. Female planning department staff. Let me guess, you're planning on entering the competition? It was the girl from the planning department who joined the company at the same time as me. She was glaring at me for some reason. Oh, is she jealous? Huh? What's the competition exactly? Oh, so you're not gonna enter? You're just here to stand around and stare? Fine, whatever. Sounded like everyone was talking about the same thing. I looked at the poster more closely. It mentioned something about coming up with a product to increase sign-up rates and lead to more marriages. We already had a few plans like that, but they were looking for something new to celebrate the anniversary. I know it's like in increments of 5. Usually they do something big for like every like increment 5 anniversary. Seems like a lucky year. Wow, sounds like fun. I said that louder than I intended and someone stepped on my foot. Wait, what? Ow! Excuse you? So you are entering then. Well, I'm not gonna lose someone from the advisor department. Toxic work environment here. Just because you earned that stupid title so young doesn't mean you can act cocky. After all, planning is my job. She stormed off without another reason. I had no clue why she seemed so annoyed with me. Huh? What the heck? I guess she feels like her territory is being threatened? My word, I guess she sees you as her rival. Claire suddenly appeared from behind me. Apparently she'd seen the whole thing. Why was she mad? She has pride in her work as part of the planning department. Of course she doesn't want to lose to another department. And you got a promotion just after a year, right? I'm sure she's jealous about that too. After all, it's not exactly common for someone to become the top bridal advisor so soon, right? Wow, really? Yes, really. Don't you remember? When we got hired, she was bragging to anyone who would listen about how she'd get promoted first. I guess I remember her saying something like that. She only mentioned it to us, so I guess it never got back to Mr. Snail. Your promotion definitely rubbed her the wrong way. I remember how irritated she was acting during your award ceremony. I hate people like that. Just like, instead of reveling in people's successes, they just want to like tear them down. Just because it's envy, you know. It's like if you can't have something, then no one should. Well, wait, really? I wish you would have said something. I didn't see a part in the slightest at the time, so I forgot about it immediately. I only remember just now. Clarice winked at me and looked at the competition poster. But this does sound like fun. And there's a cash prize for the winner. Maybe I should enter myself. Ah, you're right. What should I do? Don't give her a second thought for one thing. Everyone's gonna get in on this. No reason for you to hold back. Now, is this gonna cause like some sort of drama? Like, what if she enters and wins, and then like it comes out that she's like married, or quotation marks, or dating the boss? Whether they see that as some kind of like, not nepotism, but is it nepotism? I feel like nepotism is supposed to be just like family, right? There'd be some sort of favoritism at play, and that's a sticky issue. Clarice is right. Nobody benefits from me sitting this out. That maybe you could avoid a scandal, but okay. Good plans would rise to the top, bad ones would sink. That was up to the judges to decide, not me. Unless Snail is the judge, then he might be a little biased. In that case, maybe I should give it a shot. More than that, the idea of coming up with a new plan was pretty appealing since I dealt directly with customers so often. Sometimes I did wish that we had more specific, concrete plans, so why not build a plan to solve some issues myself? Alright, let's do this. I held on to that excitement and started thinking of new plans. I'd already forgotten about getting my foot stepped on earlier this morning. She's really optimistic. She's a better woman, I would have to say. Like, someone stepped on my foot, I'd be like, I feel like a little bit of malice there. Although I'm not sure I would act on it. I feel like acting on it's too much work. I'd just be like, really? We're gonna do this. I'm off for the day. See you tomorrow. I finished my work and grabbed my stuff to head to the elevator. I was on the early shift today, so my day finished at 5:30. I'm going home early today, so maybe I should stop by the cafe. I was thinking about my project plan for the competition again while I waited for the elevator. The elevator heading up stopped first and the doors opened. I saw Owen standing inside. It's been a while since I saw Owen. Oh, hello. Are you heading home? Yes, I am, but is everything okay? Sorry, but could you give this report to Mr. Snail? He needs it for his meeting first thing tomorrow morning. He said he'd be heading there directly, but it took longer than I expected, and I just finished it up. I need him to look over it, but he already left for another meeting. And I'm on my way to a meeting of my own. So I really don't have time. I'm really sorry, but can you take care of this? Huh? Sure, I don't mind. Thanks, you're a huge help. Well, here you go. I'm so busy. I'm getting run ragged. I wish I had a secretary of my own. The secretary gets a secretary. He handed me a folder stuffed with papers just as the elevator doors closed. I guess he does have a lot of work. I don't know if he has like other secretarial duties, but he's also acting as Mr. Snail's representative, so he has to like run around everywhere, going on dates, sending reports about that. It had only been a matter of seconds between the elevator arriving and then leaving again. And he started complaining out of nowhere at the end there. It was right before the elevator door closed, so Owen must have thought he was talking to himself, but I heard it all. It was true that Mr. Snail himself had been working too hard. So having just one secretary must be tough on them both. More importantly, our interaction happened so fast, I didn't actually find out where Mr. Snail was. I guess I can just send him a message. Since we started living together, we exchanged our chat app contact info. Let's see. Owen gave me the report for your meeting tomorrow. He'd like you to look it over as soon as possible. While waiting for the elevator, I made sure to also ask where I might find him at the moment. Unsurprisingly, I received a response almost immediately. From Shelby Snail. If you're free, let's meet up at Los York Park in like 15 minutes. You can give it to me there. Wait, why are you close to the park? Just as quick as ever, I see. And his response was just as succinct as ever, too. I figured he must either be on the move or already in another meeting. He's near Los York Park. Good, that's right on the way home. The elevator coming down finally arrived. I stuffed the report in my bag and stepped on. Eventually, I arrived at Los York Park and saw Mr. Snail waiting nearby. Are we gonna do any hot yoga? Ah, Mr. Snail! Oh, thank you for meeting me. It's no problem. It's on the way home anyway. Well, if you don't mind, I'll be going. Sorry, just one more thing. Are you doing anything right now? Nothing in particular. I was thinking about going to the cafe to work on my anniversary competition plan. I see. In that case, would you let me treat you to a cup of coffee? Are you sure? Of course. I've been causing nothing but trouble for you recently. Well, if you insist, I certainly don't mind. It's not like they're going on a little date. Aw. We walked into the cafe and sat down. I ordered us some coffee as Mr. Snail flipped through the report I'd given him. As he read through it, his usual frown was on full display, his thinking face. He reads so fast. Not only that, but he can write messages at lightning speed too. Guess that's the result of 15 years of work experience. I know, right? I can like multitask at my job too. I have like a million tabs open. I'm just like doing multiple things at once. I don't see any issues with the report. He shuffled the papers, placed them in the folder, and put the folder in his bag. Then he took out his phone and started typing up a message. Probably send to Owen. There, that should do it. But I really didn't expect Owen to hand off his report to you like that. Maybe I've been pushing him too hard. It might be too much for one person to handle. Owen basically said as much when he was standing there in the elevator. To be completely honest, he did seem like he was pretty overwhelmed. Are you planning on hiring another secretary by any chance? Another secretary? I suppose that's something I should probably consider. Owen's private life has been getting a bit busier as well. He recently asked for 4 days off in a single month. Oh my. Like, is that in addition to, like, weekends and stuff? His private life? Did something happen? Is it Melanie or is it something else? Sorry. I don't know the specifics, but I've seen him using his non-work phone in the office more often recently. I even heard him say something like, I need to reply right away or else she gets pouty. I can't help but to wonder who he's talking about. Oh, maybe it is Melanie. Maybe he got together with her without our intervention. Howdy. Could it be a new lover? That's what I was thinking, but obviously I didn't say it out loud. But Owen is an exemplary secretary. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. You know, like, if you put too much pressure, then you'll just leave. But it's not just a matter of hiring another secretary. It's difficult to find someone who can actually do the job well. And is he gonna need to find someone who can also keep a secret? Because... Right? Because he's trying to keep it under wraps that he's not married. So, like, Owen knows, Lynette knows. If he brings another secretary on board, then that secretary is gonna know too. It's just like, it's gonna be too many people that know too much information. More isn't always better after all. Adding more staff would just make more work for Owen if they can't actually handle the work. You know, they have to, then you have to supervise that person, and then you'd have to, like, be constantly breathing down their neck. That would suck. Yeah, that's a tough one. Plus training. Training takes a lot of time. Which is why I still haven't come to a final decision, unfortunately. What's your take on all of this? Well... if it were up to me... oh, okay. Okay, so it says to make a save file here, so I'm guessing this choice will change the ending. let's just make a separate save here. Well, reducing his workload wouldn't really help the issue because the work would still be there. I don't know, I feel like this one would be kind of dicey because then, like, if you get more secretaries on board, more assistants, and, like, more people know the secret. And then there's a third one, why don't I become the secretary? I mean, that might be a little complicated. She's a bridal advisor, wouldn't that kind of, like, go against, like, what she's trying to do? She wants to pair people up, but if she's busy doing paperwork for Mr. Snail, she's not going to be able to do that. Although she could think of it like she's pairing up people indirectly. And also she might just become like Owen and just have too much work to do. It says to pick option 2 to hire more assistants, so we'll go with that one. Ideally, I think it would be great to add another secretary that I can really rely on. If you want, I could even help with the search. Although, all I could really do is make a list of colleagues that might fit. That would be a big help. I do trust your judgment, so would you mind doing that for me? Not at all. I can send you a list tomorrow, but I can't promise they'll be a good fit, so you should probably make a job posting too. Oh, that was the right answer. Yes, I'll certainly do that as well. We don't have any time to waste on this, but I must say, you really know your stuff on this. It's almost like you could be the secretary. That would be the thing, like, here's President CEO Shelby Snail and his hot secretary Lynette, and they're dating. Mr. Snail smiled at me. He seemed happy that we were on the same wavelength. I was overjoyed that he decided to take my advice. Just then, our coffee arrived. Also, I have coffee. I'm just leaving it here, sitting. Take a sip. Thank you for waiting! The 2 HF special blends. House? Wait, what does that mean? HF house? I don't know. The waiter put down our coffees, and Mr. Snail put his phone face down on the table. Now he's being polite. Anyway, that's enough about Owen. The truth is, I've been wanting to talk to you. You have? I just wanted to ask if you're really fine with how things are right now. You're talking about, like, with us living together and everything. Yes, well, I suppose I am. I'm just worried that you might be dissatisfied with how things have been going. We don't see each other. You see each other in the morning or in the evening. if these last few days have been hard for you, I'd like to improve things. It's like he's trying to actually spend more time with his wife. The lie is becoming real. As usual, it's nothing but business for him. Things I'm dissatisfied with. Just, Lynette, remind yourself you're the pretend wife. Of course there were things I wasn't happy about. Mainly that we never got to see each other. He doesn't get home until after I'm asleep, and he leaves for work before I wake up. We're living together to convince anyone looking too close that we're a couple, but we don't actually do anything that couples do. To be honest, I've been wondering if it's okay that we haven't actually been living like a couple. Like a couple, but that's... Aw, you get all flustered. You're so cute. For example, as your wife, I'd be happy to make dinner, which we could eat together, but we haven't done that once. Oh, right, dinner. Wait, what were you thinking? Shelby? Yeah, I guess that's true. It's very common for couples to eat meals together, huh? Very much so. During the dinner party, the other couple talked about their preferences. I have no idea what you like or don't like. Well, as far as that goes, one thing I don't like is fried foods. He doesn't like... I guess he doesn't like anything that's too unhealthy? Kinda like Ryuki, but he's not obsessed. He's not obsessive about it. Anything that would slow him down, he doesn't want. Wait, really? Oh, yeah, I guess that's... I guess I knew that. You wrote that on your Monsieur essay profile sheet, didn't you? Right. The only thing that wasn't true was my name. I just don't want to waste energy on food that's hard to digest. All it does is make me hazy and unfocused, so I avoid fried food whenever I can. But the joy of eating fried goodness. If I had to give up, I eat a lot of unhealthy stuff. Like if I had to give it up, I feel sad. Like man, like the stuff that gives me like happiness and joy. I know it's like slowing me down, but still. As usual, work is his top priority. Anyway, what I really wanted to focus on was if there was anything you didn't like about living at the house itself. Living at the house? I know it can be uncomfortable staying in someone else's home. If you want to change anything, I'm open to any suggestions. As far as that goes, nothing really comes to mind. If I had to pick one thing, I guess my commute is a little longer now. Huh? Oh, right, you take the subway, don't you? I suppose that was rather inconsiderate of me. Sorry about that. It's fine, it's just a few minutes extra. Maybe, but it's still extra strain on you. I'll think about it and see if I can come up with a way to deal with it. Well, I appreciate that. Mr. Stan was being unusually sincere. As a workaholic, he checks his email constantly, but he is being very attentive today. I know, he even has his phone face down. Meaning he's giving you his undivided attention. He's into you, girl. Wait, he hasn't checked his email the entire time we've been talking. Guys. After sending off his message to Owen, he hadn't looked at his phone or laptop once. Once the coffee had arrived, he put his phone face down immediately. Maybe he did that so he could focus on our conversation. Focusing on the phone, I noticed it vibrating from time to time, which must have meant that he was continuing to get emails. Sir? I think you missed a few messages. Right now, sorting out any problems you may be having is more important. It was clear he was really worried about any issues I was having with our fake married life. He was obviously prioritizing our conversation. Seeing just how considerate he could be, I gave him a reassuring smile. I'm fine, I promise. There isn't anything that's a real problem, honestly. Go on, you should really check your messages. But I really do need to get some work done on my competition entry, so you don't need to worry about me. He is still hesitating, so I went ahead and pulled out my notepad and pen. When he saw me do that, he finally pulled out his laptop. No, they're like work buddies, they're like study buddies. Now then, time to flesh out the details of my plan. I reviewed the key words I come up with the back at the office and started jotting them down. The theme was basically a new product plan to help increase marriage rates. In other words, a new style of matchmaking. Currently, all of the matchmaking methods we were using were fairly similar. We had group events and one-on-one sit-downs, as well as opportunities to go out and meet up at cafes, bars, and restaurants. Those are all divided up by member interests, age groups, and even occupations. I was thinking about adding a more casual environment where anyone could feel free to join, whenever they felt like it. There are lots of people like Melanie who are pretty introverted, and I'd like those kinds of people to feel comfortable too. For example, a low-pressure setting where people can just get together and chat about their hobbies or whatever they feel like. Or maybe a system where friends who already have the same hobbies can join up together. The main point is, we have to find a way to create that initial spark for them. I wonder what's the best way is. I looked down at my notepad to review all the key words I've written down. Cats, dogs, birds, books, movies, desserts, cooking. I looked each one up on the Instagram and jotted down the most popular ones. It's like random words. I guess he's brainstorming. It's how brainstorming works. You're just supposed to like spill out your thoughts and then try to make connections there. Instagram has so many cat videos, so how about some kind of cat cafe meetup event? Wait, no. I remember we tried that one at some point. It was a complete failure. One girl got cat hair all over her dress, and another one turned out to be massively allergic. We got all kinds of complaints. Still, I think interacting with animals is a really good approach. I mean, a lot of people like to go on a date to like the zoo or something. That's what was on my mind as I glanced at Mr. Snail. Sitting right there was a man actively looking to get married. But this particular candidate was currently completely focused on answering his emails. What about some kind of work-related matchmaking system? I wrote down the phrase co-working space on my notepad, a way to work and connect at the same time. Oh, but trade secrets could be an issue. How about putting people in individual rooms? No, how would that bring people closer? As I sat there, I recalled Monster Essay's original profile sheet. Mr. Snail has always prioritized his work over everything else. He truly was a prestige parasite. Since Mr. Snail was Monster Essay all along, that meant that everything Owen had said at the interview was actually about him. And on top of that, he admitted that everything on his profile sheet other than his name was the truth. It says here that one of his hobbies is to be SS in all things. What does SS mean? It means to reach the very top rank, of course. Yes, that's what I've heard as well. It means to earn an SS rank. Okay, so his hobby is just to be the best. So he values social standing more than anything else? That's correct. It also says he wants someone who can accept my work and push me to do better. So he wants someone to help keep that SS rank. That's how it was described to me, yes? But why is he so focused on being the best to begin with? Even if I didn't know the reason, I could relate to his desire. I loved my job connecting people together too. Maybe that's why I was enjoying myself so much in that moment. We were working there in silence, but there was nothing awkward about it. Somehow I actually found myself having fun. I want to come up with a plan that'll completely blow Mr. Snail's socks off. Something that people can enjoy together, whether they're looking for a marriage or not. Something with a different focus. I wonder what that might look like. I kept scrolling through Instagram looking for hints and writing down ideas as they came to me. Instagram has posts that cover all different kinds of topics. It's a great reference for brainstorming sessions. What's this? Fashion Up. Remember that place on 7th Avenue? I saw a dress that was so cute. I couldn't stop myself from buying it for a day. Hashtag fashion, hashtag cute, hashtag love. Clothes. Gotta get in contact with Ryuki again. I went to Los York Park this morning, and so many birds were there. Morning exercise is better than I realized, but I'm pretty sure I saw a secretary bird. But maybe that was just my imagination. Hashtag bird, hashtag cute, hashtag animal, hashtag morning. Forever 17. A secretary bird, that would be kind of unusual to see at the park. Like the birds with the long lashes. And also the very powerful legs. They kind of have a silly run as well. Animals. Tried making some crab cakes. It's actually a lot easier than I thought. Hashtag food, hashtag love, hashtag happy from Oyster Love 2. Cuisine. Oh, this cooking photo has a lot of likes. Take a closer look at it. The description said it was a couple cooking their favorite meal together. Imagining it, I could feel the love. Two people in love making food together. It must be a truly splendid sight. I hope I can keep bringing lots more people together in that same way. Just looking at the picture helped to stimulate my Cupid instincts. Cooking. A couple cooking together. Maybe a kind of way to kickstart a relationship. I giggled softly to myself and wrote down my idea. You seem quite focused. Have you come up with any good ideas? I looked up at the sound of Mr. Snail's voice, and I saw him closing his laptop. He's smiling. Oh, did you finish your emails? I did. Sorry again for interrupting our conversation to do that. Not at all. I think I made a lot of progress. I'm glad to hear it. So you mentioned the anniversary competition. You're thinking of entering? I am. It's the perfect opportunity for me to come up with a plan that can bring even more joy to our members. That's very admirable of you. Thank you, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. I've come up with a few potential ideas, but I was just about to show him my notepad, but I quickly stopped myself. Getting feedback from the president felt like too much like cheating. My hand was just frozen there. Halfway to handing him the notepad, Mr. Snail just smiled at me. I'm not going to be judging the competition, so I think it's fine to give you a bit of advice. Okay, so a little bit more fair and not gonna be too biased. Of course, I do have the final say, but I have faith in all my employees, so I'm happy to consider any ideas as they develop. Really? Really? So may I take a look? If you insist. I spread my several pages of notes out over the table. Here's everything I've thought of so far. Pets, books, movies, desserts, cooking, and the work. I see. Very interesting. Big smile crossed his lips. And in a moment later, he pointed at one line in particular. And why did you decide to cross this one out? Oh, that? Well, I thought it might be fun to just sit and work together like we're doing right now. But then I realized there might be an issue with secrecy and non-disclosure agreements, so thought it might be too much trouble. That's a good point. But personally, I think finding out more about how someone approaches work is a great approach. Really? Indeed. But this one's not bad either. I like the little catchphrase. Mr. Snail used the tip of his pen to point out a slogan I'd written down. Cook together, come together. One's personality can certainly come through when they cook. Remember the argument it led to during the Parasite house? And then everyone started taking their clothes off. Oh, that's right! I'd almost forgotten about that! Gil and Alan had gotten into a huge fight about it. It was a real pain in the butt at the time. They were arguing about calorie counts and how men and women should or shouldn't cook. Sure, conversations like that come up all the time in married life. And then you take off your clothes. That was such a weird scene. I don't even know. Which is all the more reason to uncover habits like that before marriage. Much better than waiting till after the wedding. I know, what if you find out that your partner can't cook and neither of you can cook? What are you gonna do then? I definitely agree that cooking helps expose someone's personality. It's an essential foundation of life after all. Or if they get frustrated at cooking, or if they're more open to learning. Very true. And cooking has clear steps you can follow, so people who struggle to make conversation can just focus on the task. Habits tend to reveal themselves in the small moments of a situation. That's a great chance for people to observe each other. True. Deciding what to make, how they wash and peel vegetables, even small things like that say something about how you think and act. But then, maybe cooking and matchmaking really could work together. We could decide on a dish beforehand, but also let each couple choose what to cook for themselves if they want to. That's true. Naturally, cooking experience varies from person to person. Yeah, definitely. Then maybe we could divide people up according to their skill level. Or you could even give them nothing but difficult recipes and have everyone work together to succeed. Oh, that's a great idea! As a host, we could play the villain and create an environment where they all help each other. The villain, eh? Overcoming difficulties together can deepen one's love. It's a version of what's known as the misattribution of arousal theory. I can certainly see how that would be the case. We can also divide it into genres like Japanese dishes or French cuisine. And they can go shopping together, getting to know each other by picking out their ingredients at a nearby supermarket. I was getting more and more excited and started writing down lots of different ideas. I suddenly heard a laugh across the table. You really are passionate about your work. Huh? I looked up to see Mr. Snail gazing at me softly. His gentle expression made me happy, so I smiled back at him. I do love to work, I can't deny it. I see. I'm exactly the same way, as you know. I gave him another glance and looked back down at my notes. Cooking and matchmaking, there's definitely plenty there to build on. Here and there, Mr. Snail gave a little more tidbits of advice and ideas. Just as I was thinking about the time it was time for me to head home, Mr. Snail's cell phone rang. He checked the display and the contact number made him frown. I signaled that he should just go ahead and answer it. He nodded and put the phone to his ear. Sorry about this. Yes, I see. Yes, alright. Again? Fine, then go ahead with that. Unbelievable. Is everything alright? Oh yes, it was someone from CCAM, the security company that I've contracted. Apparently, they found evidence that someone tried getting into the house. The house? You mean the one on First Avenue? The one where we live? Mr. Snail had mentioned that he had evidence of people snooping around trying to spy on him. I'm very sorry. I'll do everything I can to make sure there's no danger to you. But if you don't feel safe, you can... Then it's a good thing we're living together. Lynette has no sense of self-preservation. She's just like... Nothing can harm me. I was just about to say, you can return to your own apartment if this worries you. Oh no, I'm not worried at all. I'm totally fine. I just want to make this mission a success. But I wonder, who could it be? And why would they keep coming back? Normally, your first thought would be a burglar, but multiple attempts at a house protected by a security company? There's a huge C-cam sticker right next to the intercom. You can't miss it. Could it really be someone who knows Mr. Snail isn't married and they're dead set on finding proof? A company president always has a target on his back. I'm not ready to accuse anyone, so I'll keep working with C-cam for now. We'll catch them eventually, but so far they've been long gone by the time the security personnel arrive each time. The security cameras caught what appears to be a man, but his face is always totally covered, so we can't make out any features. That's definitely a problem. Without a doubt. Maybe it's time to make a public announcement and... another call. This time it's okay, go ahead. Right, thank you. Hello? Yes, it's been quite some time. Alright. Yes, but... yes, of course. I understand. But I'll have to check my wife's schedule and get back to you. Yes, goodbye for now. Oh, another dinner date? Do we have another mission to take care of? This isn't taking it like, oh, it's a mission. I clearly hear him say wife, so I assume it's about a dinner again. Mr. Snail immediately looked exhausted. Yes, well, that was another important client. I hate to ask for your help again, but it's time for another dinner party. Roger that. I gave him a wink and a sharp salute to show him that I didn't mind at all. Sadly, Mr. Snail just furrowed his brow even more. He's like, why are you so into this? We said our goodbyes and I returned home. Woo! Okay, back to project planning. After talking to Mr. Snail, I had a much more firm grasp on my idea. I excitedly started writing down even more ideas. My phone suddenly chirped to let me know I had a message. Checking the screen, I saw it was from Owen. Owen? That's kind of unusual. From Owen here. Thank you for getting this to me. Mr. Snail mentioned he'd like to put out classified ads for more secretaries as early as tomorrow. Thank goodness. This wouldn't have been possible without your advice. Mr. Snail must have already gotten the ball rolling then. Just as speedy as ever when it came to work, I couldn't deny he was basically the perfect president. But Owen's message, I guess maybe my advice had actually helped him out a little. Owen's message said that this wouldn't have been possible without your advice, so Mr. Snail must have told him about looking for more help. I have to admit, it feels kind of nice. He's so busy. I'm glad I was able to help, even just a little bit. I couldn't help but smile at the thought of my reply to Owen. Okay, well, I feel like this could go either way. Says pick option 1. I'll help however I can too. I don't know how this will bring affection with Shelby's not even here. I'll do everything I can to help out with things too. After writing my reply, I hit send. Then I spread out my notes and got back to work on my plan. Guess maybe it feels like he can count on us? Instead of just shoveling it to another person. Alright, next chapter. Suspicions grow. Uh-oh. Oh no, we're starting with this! Oh no, mysterious man! Okay, we're gonna have to see Mysterious Man in the next episode, because, yeah, we've been going for almost an hour. Alright, let's save. Over here. Okie doke. Start the next. It seems like the chapters are pretty long, although we might hit some chapters that are. We had like some chapters in Ryuki's route that were just like really short, and some that were like super duper long. It's hard to gauge. Alright, anyway, and take a break. I need to go to the bathroom, so I'm surprised I lasted this long. I've been kind of keeled over for like these past few days. I'm just like trying to pick myself up and function for a little bit. Alright, anyway, I hope you guys are having a fun time with this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.